Alright, so this is a little bit of a revisit of Dr. Voodoo, and this champion I still love dearly, man. I love Dr. Voodoo a ton. I feel like I think he's still kind of got it, man. Like, he still feels really fluid to play. His damage output, of course, is a bit lacking in, like, regular matchups, but if the opponent has buffs, he is still, like, a pretty strong champion, man. So yeah, right here, this is a 0 to hero and supercharged lane, and King Gru, he has 700,000 health. That is, like, a ton of health, right? But we're going to get this fight down in a pretty good amount of time. So yeah, like, Dr. Voodoo, he is an old gem, 100%. So that's why he's part of the old gem series. And most old gems, they are still pretty decent, I would say, and I feel like Dr. Voodoo is no exception. I feel like he's still pretty dang solid. Is he like a new meta attacker? Probably not. Like, you can't really use him that well in Battlegrounds, but he might be good for, like, you know, Gores and whatnot. But besides that, he just doesn't really see too much use in the meta content. But I still think he's a great quester because of the regeneration at the start of the fight, and also just because, like, he's a very mystic character. I know, like, he's mystic, right? So that makes sense, but he is, like, super mystic, basically. He has Nullify, he has Power Steal, he just has, like, every mystic trope that, like, is still relevant today. Like, right here, the 0 to hero lane, he is taking it with ease because he has the Nullify access. And yeah, this King Gru is just melting. We have 24 Spirit Venoms on him, so yeah, the fight is just, like, over pretty much. And yeah, that was 700,000 health taken in like a minute and 19 seconds by Dr. Voodoo, which is not bad at all. And now we have this Civil War Zone lane, and this is just like absolute cheese with Dr. Voodoo. This does have like mighty charge though, so you have to play it really carefully, but if you do it properly, it becomes a ton of fun. So yeah, like on every hit, they get an armor up buff, right? And Dr. Voodoo, he loves that. He really does love that. Also, this has Divine Barrier, so, like, they'll go Nullify immune for, like, a little bit, but once you wait out the timer, you can just nullify all their buffs, and yeah, it just becomes a really fun time. So here we go for this SP1, after we bait out this heavy attack, and yeah, it's gonna do a lot of damage. Right there, we get 33 Spirit Venoms that are ticking for 14,000 per tick. 14,000 per tick, man. That is quite insane. So here she drops the SB2. She runs into me, unfortunately, so that removes our Spirit Venoms, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. But yeah, we can just regroup from there, just keep on getting the Spirit Venoms active. So here I drop another SP1. We're gonna get like about 14 of those, 8,000 per tick, not too bad. And yeah, the fight's just like over pretty much. Right here, you're gonna see, I like mistimed the SP1. Like right here, I'm just like, hurry up, Dr. Voodoo, but no, he takes so long in the SP1, man. He takes like 3 seconds to just drop that like second hit. I'm like, come on, man. Like now I have to wait it out for like 8 seconds, but it's fine. It was still a pretty solid performance there. And on the same path, we have this Gambit. This Gambit goes a lot better until the end. You're gonna see we mess up yet again at the end of the fight, but it's fine. This fight is pretty clean for the most part though. It's just such a fun time, man. Whenever there's buffs, Dr. Voodoo is probably still one of the best options for it, like at this point, and which is pretty surprising because he's such an old champion. He's from 2016, I believe. So yeah, a very, very old character, but he still has it in my opinion. And here I dropped the SP1, 30 Spirit Venoms, and yeah, things are just looking pretty good now. And yeah, man, like Dr. Voodoo, he's just so much fun. Like I said earlier, in his like non-buffed matchups, the damage output isn't really like all that, but if there are buffs, it is a very, very nice time. So yeah, right here we can just go for another combo. He runs into me, unfortunately, so he removes the Spirit Venoms, but then we drop the SP1 again, and then we get another stack of 30 Spirit Venoms, so yeah. And then I get hit by the SP1, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what, how embarrassing. But the fight was still 53 seconds, which is pretty dang solid. And this fight I love so much because this shows the utility of bringing your own buffs to the fight. So this node is whenever the Mystic Champion that you're using nullifies a buff off the defender, then you get a Fury passive, right? But they don't have any buffs to give you, right? Like this is just either Red Goblin space buffs or the buffs that you bring. And Dr. Voodoo brings a lot of buffs to the table. So yeah, just a really, really good time. Like most Mystic characters, they can't get like even 5 Fury passive in this fight, but Dr. Voodoo, he caps out very quickly. So yeah, just a really awesome time for Dr. Voodoo, and it just goes to show how awesome it is to bring your own buffs to the table, because, you know, some cosmic characters don't even have that many buffs, like Null, for example, he only has 2, and that's like when he's awakened. So yeah, it's important to like have your own buff sometimes. Like Mojo does it, and that's like also really good. Who else does it? Is it just Mojo and Dr. Voodoo? It might be. That's honestly pretty insane if so, but even though like neutralizes the meta right now, it's still good to have like, your own buffs and just like to have a nullify as well, because it just adds a lot of value to the champion. Like, imagine Mojo without his own buffs, he would be terrible. Imagine Dr. Voodoo without his own buffs, he would be like way worse as well. But thankfully they have these mechanics where they can just bring their own buffs, and it just makes pretty much all their fights a lot more like, a lot faster than like usual, because like Dr. Voodoo would have like no damage pretty much. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, he isn't the most damaging character like as is, but he'd have even less, which is, didn't know you can go that low. But anyways, okay, that was a bit too harsh. Like Dr. Voodoo, like with no buffs like externally, of course does have pretty bad damage, but when there are buffs at the table like that are in his own, he does a ton of damage, man. So yeah, I can't be too mean to him, but he's still, I feel like damage still is like his only problem. Like I feel like his utility is still very, very strong to this day. But yeah, he just does some fights very, very well, man. For example, this lane right here, because I feel like he's probably one of the best Mystic options for it. So yeah, this fight is going pretty dang well. That SP1 was like a nothing burger though, because he didn't have any Loas. But yeah, we're still just building up those Fury passes from the node. And yeah, things are just looking pretty good. And also, Dr. Voodoo, one of my complaints about him is that he's so RNG based. Like he'll never have the same fight time. Like I don't really like characters like that. Like I don't like Archangel. I'm sorry. I know people love the guy. I'm not his biggest fan. I think he has cool animations and all that, but I'm not the biggest fan of Archangel. And it's just because the RNG Alliance just makes it a very different fight time for each fight. So yeah, like that's just my thoughts on that. But speaking of Dr. Voodoo, let's go back to, back to Dr. Voodoo. Not only is he a good buff controller, but he's also a good power controller. So this right here is Connect Transference. And you're going to see right here, once we drop the SP2, she's done. She just cannot do anything besides that. Like she just cannot even gain a bar of power after you drop the SP2. It is a very, very clean time. And yeah, he's just a very solid power controller. I feel like he was the magic replacement for a little bit, because his power control is super good. I feel like he does have a little bit less damage though. Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. Magic has the worst damage in the game, in my opinion. It's so bad. It is so bad. But anywho, we dropped the SP2 right here. And yeah, we're gonna go for intercept. And now the fight is just like over pretty much. We can just go for the intercepts, and we can even like go for a blocked hit. She just can't do anything. She will not gain any more power like beyond the bar power, man. It is so awesome. It is so awesome. And we can drop the SP1 for some damage as well. So yeah, now like we both have the damage stacking and the like power control. So yeah, it's just a really awesome time. And I feel like he's such a good power controller, man. It is so much fun. Yeah, like she just cannot do anything. She just cannot do anything at all. So we drop the SP2 once more so we can regain our power control. And after that, the fight is just like completely over, man. It is just so over, and it is so fun. I also like how the power control is like so long that you can go for the SP1 as well to maintain your damage output. It's just like, it's really awesome, man. It's really well designed as well. So I just feel like for a 2016 champion, he still has his uses for sure. He still has his like very strong utility, and this is just like proving so. So yeah, we drop the SP1 one more time. We get some more Loas active. Some more Spirit Venom, sorry. And yeah, the fight is just, it is now officially over. And that was about like a minute and 30 seconds, which isn't too bad at all. Yeah, and now we have this Jubilee, which is a much faster fight because she has prowess buffs. And oh my gosh, Dr. Voodoo with power control and buffs to nullify, oh my gosh, it is so much fun. I feel like Dr. Voodoo is the only champion where like you don't want Mystic Dispersion. Like you really do not want it, because it'll just like give him too much power. Because he has so many like self-activated buffs, and like he nullifies a ton of buffs as well. So yeah, not really recommended to run that mastery with him. So there we dropped the SP2, and yeah, this just ends the fight pretty much, because now she can go over bar power, and she's going to keep gaining those prowess buffs that we can just nullify and just have such a fun time with. And yeah, things are just looking pretty good, man. I'm going to drop the SP1 right here, I believe. And yeah, 12 prowess buffs to nullify, plus our own Spirit Venom, so that's 19 Spirit Venoms, man. That's nice. That's a lot of damage right there. And yeah, this is just like the rest of the fight. It is awesome. We go for this SP2 again though, because it's almost out of duration. But like that's so awesome that you can like drop the SP1 and then still have enough time to go for the SP2 as well, and like not lose any power control. That is just amazing. And yeah, we don't even need another SP1 because she is just already down. So yeah, pretty awesome time there. And to end it, we have this one node which is called Hale and Hardy, and also we have a White Magneto. So White Magneto has prowess buffs very, very often, so we can just nullify that. And this Hale and Hardy node is like perfect for Dr. Voodoo because it gives the opponent regeneration every time we go over bar power, but when we go over bar power, we can just drop the SP1 and then nullify that buff. So yeah, it's just really awesome here. So we gain a bar power, he gains a regen, we nullify it instantly, and yeah, that's just like the rest of the fight pretty much. Just a really like easy time with Dr. Voodoo, and yeah, just no issues whatsoever. So yeah, here we drop another SP1, he has a regeneration, it's now gone, and yeah, just repeat the cycle. And now we have 20 Spirit Venoms on him as well, so yeah, that's pretty awesome. And yeah, this fight is just a very fun time with Dr. Voodoo. We go for another double medium here, we drop the SP1, and yeah, he is just so good at controlling this fight, man, because like we control it perfectly. Because like the regeneration is whenever we gain a bar power, and whenever we gain that bar power, we just go for the nullify, and yeah, they just cannot do anything like about it. It is just so awesome, man. He is, in my opinion, probably one of the best characters for this lane, because he just does it so well. And yeah, he is just melting now, man, and the fight is just pretty much over. We drop the SP1 one more time, I believe. Do we even have to? Yeah, I think we do, but yeah, he's just gonna be down anyway. Or no, we don't even have to do it, because he's already down. Look at that. Perfect. And yeah, that ends this showcase as well. Let me know your thoughts on Dr. Voodoo. For me personally, I feel like he's still a very, very solid character. I feel like he still has the damage output and like the, the right matchups, like, heavy buff matchups. And the utility is still pretty dang amazing. And yeah, that's about it for me.